Hi guys, it's me again, Alex. So for today's video, I want to share with you and I want to talk about specifically evidence of practice. Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's me again, Alex, and again I'm back for another episode of my international student journey here in Canada. A lot of you has been asking me about this question, about opinions and advices about how to comply about safe practice here in Canada. So without further ado, let's get started. Before I start my video, if this is your first time watching my video, and if you're planning to become a registered nurse in Canada, I highly suggest to watch my previous videos about the process because I'll be specifically talking about evidence of practice. And of course, the process of becoming a registered nurse, evidence of practice is one of the requirements. So this is just one of the requirements on how to become a registered nurse. Before anything else, I just wanted to let you know that I'll be making two separate videos for this talking about evidence of practice because first in this specific video, I'll be sharing with you my personal experience and how I was able to find out this information and how was I able to comply my requirements in my evidence of practice. I wanted to share with you my work background and as well as my educational background. So along the way, you will be able to understand the process. I was a graduate of 2014 and I was a registered nurse way back 2015. I worked for 2 years in a hospital setting, 2015 to 2017. So I have a 2 years experience as a registered nurse in the Philippines. So that was my history, career history, my job history. After that, I worked in different areas such as laboratories. I worked as a medical receptionist, and I also worked as a company nurse. So I worked in a furniture company and I was the, registered nurse in that specific company. So again, let's talk about evidence of practice. But before anything else, let's read and define what is evidence of practice. So again, guys, if you wanted to become a registered nurse in Canada, I will be sharing with you specifically in the province of Ontario, okay? Because in different province comes with different rules and regulations. So in province of Ontario, this is the process or this is the right video if you wanted to become a registered nurse in the province of Ontario. So let's define what is evidence of practice. So evidence of practice refers to any information that shows CNO. CNO stands for College of Nurses of Ontario, that you have experience practicing as a nurse within the past 3 years. So again, in the province of Ontario, your experience will only be valid for within 3 years. So in my case, for example, I started working as a registered in the Philippines 2015 to 2017. So 2017, 18, 19, 20. So it's only valid until 2020. And again, guys, for your information, I passed my NCLEX 2021. So here comes the story. I was so worried and I was so stressed out because even if I passed the NCLEX, I wouldn't be able to register in the College of Nurses of Ontario, meaning I couldn't able to work as a nurse because I don't have the active license. That's why I keep on saying active license, because it doesn't mean that you have your NCLEX, you're ready to work as a nurse. You still have to work on your language proficiency, your evidence of practice, your jurisprudence. So these are just one of the requirements. There were 8 requirements which I mentioned in the previous videos. So here comes my story. So I keep reaching to the CNO office. I will keep talking to the agent and I keep writing them a letter that is there any other way for them to consider my safe practice, because at that time it was pandemic, it was lockdown, it was so hard to go home, it was so hard to travel, countries were closed, and I was like, as much as possible, I really wanted to get my license. So they keep saying, I'm sorry, they wouldn't extend the safe practice. So I'm like, I don't have a choice. So like my decision at that time is to go home and to work But then I'm like, I mentioned it to them. I worked as a company nurse. And she said, oh, you worked as a company nurse. So you're working as a nurse. That is considered as a nursing practice. It's considered within your role. I'm like, oh, okay, so you mean that could be included? And she said, yes. So try to email your previous employer and then send the forms. Let them send the forms directly to the CNO. Okay, then I'll try it. So that's how I find out that it doesn't have to be that you're working in a hospital. You know, I have this idea that nursing practice has to be in a nursing floor or in a hospital. So you can work as a company nurse, in a hospital, in a community, school nurse. That's valid. So as long as you work and function as a nurse. That was my job prior leaving to Canada. So that was way back 2018, December, when I had that job. So I'm like, it's already 2021, right? So I only have a month left for me to comply and to submit that paper so that they could consider my application, because 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, at that was December. I left Philippines December 28. So I left the job within that month. So I was rushing to reach out on my employer to give out and to submit these forms so that they could consider it. And fortunately, they accepted it. So I don't have to go home and to comply for that. I've been asked previously. So I'm gonna read her question because she's the one who inspired me to make this video, and I really do credit this to her. So she said that I am a licensed nurse in the Philippines. However, I have a huge work gap over 10 years. I am connected on a different career path. I am planning to study in Canada via student visa. I could only afford 1-year course because I'm tight on budget. I'm worried about application and NNAS because of my nursing experience is less than a year. I think it might pose a problem. Can you give an advice? So my advice or my tip, if you decide to become a registered nurse in Canada through a student visa, then start looking for a job as a nurse. So if you're working as a company nurse, if you're working in a hospital, then you're safe. Don't leave your job as long as you have your student visa. For example, you're not working in a nursing career or in a nursing area, then try to find a job. So if you plan to come here to Canada on January, then at least have 3 months of a job that you worked as a nurse, because that would be your safe practice that you could submit when you apply or when you process your application here in Canada. Because it would be your problem in the future if you don't have nursing safe practice. Then that I'll make a different video on how to comply for safe practice if you don't have nursing experience, because they provided information about how to comply for that, but it's gonna be another story. But for you or for anybody who's watching this video, and if you plan to come here to Canada and become a registered nurse and you're not working as a nurse in the Philippines, then please go find a job as a nurse prior leaving the country so that you could keep it and consider that as a safe practice when you come here. I would say if you could work 5 months, 3 to 5 months, that would be fine. Because I worked as a company nurse for like 3 months only. So that was already accepted. So at least 3 months, 3 to 5 months. Decide to work as a nurse 3 to 5 months. Not as a volunteer. Having a nursing experience in the Philippines is still important. So in my next video, I'll be sharing with you on how to comply on your nursing safe practice if you don't have a nursing experience in the Philippines or from where you're from. So for now, that's all. Thank you for watching and see you in my next video. Bye!